Welcome to another SunSuite training video. In this video, we'll explore how to use SunSuite with Google Classroom. Let's start by looking at the teacher experience. Here, I have my Google Classroom already set up, and I have myself and another one of my accounts set up as teachers and students for this demo. If you don't know how to create a Google Classroom or enroll students, more information can be found using Google's documentation at classroom.google.com. Here, I am logged into my Sunbooks facilitator account. Because I have a facilitator account, I have access to lesson plans. In order to access my lesson plans, I go to the local navigation and open the bar. I go to the books and I find the book that I want to share. I open that book and I look at all of the lessons in this book. I find the lesson that I wish to assign to my students and I expand it out. Because I am a facilitator, I have access to the lesson plans. So I will click on the lesson plan. The lesson plan page consists of multiple parts. The first is lesson info, which gives you an overview of time and standards that this lesson works on. The introduction, which can give you helpful activities or ideas in order to help introduce the overall lesson. The activities, which gives you a bird's eye view of every page in this lesson. An IEP and accommodation section, which will help you to have ideas on how to tailor this for your students who need accommodations, and a conclusion for wrapping up the entire lesson with your students. If I look at the activities section, it gives me this bird's eye view of every single one of the activities, including additional setup and teardown information that is not seen by your students when they flip through each of the activities in the lesson. Seeing this all in one place allows me to know exactly what I'm going to have all my students do, as well as being able to see different export areas or areas where students will be able to submit their work to me so I can understand what I'm going to be expecting them to turn in. I can also then make sure to be able to say exactly what I want students to skip in case there's anything I don't want to assign to them. Once I have looked over the entire lesson, I now can access my Share to Google Classroom button. Using the Share to Google Classroom button opens up my Google Classroom and allows me to send the link to the lesson directly to my students. Expanding this out allows me to choose my class. I'm going to choose my Entrepreneurship 101 class, and I can select an action. I can either create an assignment, ask a question, make an announcement, or create a material. If you're confused by the difference in each of these things, more documentation is available from Google about this at classroom.google.com. I'm going to create an assignment and I'm going to click go. This then opens up my Google Classroom assignment page. I then can fill out all of the information that I want in order to give this assignment to my students. I'm going to give it a title, and then I'm going to type out my instructions that I want my students to know. This is exactly where I can tell them to skip certain elements or to submit their work in a certain file format. I will fill out my instructions as followed. Now that I've filled out my instructions, I can tell my students exactly when their assignment will be due. In this case, I'll make it due next Friday, and I can set a due date time, let's say at 8 a.m. I can then select a topic. As I have built out my class, I can have different topics. This is, again, a thing for you to learn more about using Google Classroom from Google itself. I'm going to just say that this is my core values topic, and then I can click assign. And now my students have their instructions and they have a link directly back to the assignment. Now that I look at Google Classroom, I can see that it has been posted on their stream. In their classwork, under my core values topic, there is the core values assignment, complete with the due date, and complete with the actual instructions and a link directly to the assignment. We'll see about how accessing this link works for students in our students section. The last stage of the teacher experience is to actually see your students' work so that you can give them feedback and grades for doing the work. On the assignment that you created, you can click on student work and you can see all of the students that you have and all of the work that they have submitted. In my case, I have one student who has turned in their work. If I open their work, I can actually see what they have submitted. I can make sure that they have submitted their work in the format I asked for. I asked for a PDF and they gave a PDF. Good job. I see then the report that was exported. So from the core values text editor, they wrote in 3 things: a really good idea, a other really good idea, and the best really good idea. Unfortunately, none of these actually shows a mastery of the material that I assigned them, so they're not going to get a very good grade. In fact, I'm going to give them half credit for submitting the assignment in the correct format, and the other half of the credit for actually having good work and actually showing mastery of the skills. They didn't do that, so I'm going to give them a 50 out of 100. And in their comments, I'm going to say that they submitted their work, and I'm going to say that they didn't actually show mastery of the material, and I'm going to give them elements to go back and review. I took these 5 points from the last activity in the lesson. I'm reminding the student, and I'm giving them the opportunity to try again. Graded, I've given comments, and now I've not only been able to review work that was done, I was able to give it back. I can also return the work to the student from Google Classroom. Right now they can see the comments, but their grade is only a draft until I finalize it. For more information on how commenting and grading works in Google Classroom, use the Google Classroom documentation at classroom.google.com. To recap, using Google Classroom and SunSuite together allows you to use the educational resources of SunSuite along with the organizational resources of Google Classroom. From SunBooks, you can access lesson plans, which in turn allow you to create an assignment directly in Google Classroom that will allow your students to go directly to the first page of the lesson, work through, and then submit their work on Google Classroom, where you can view, grade, and comment on their work. We hope this video has been helpful and informative for you. If you have any further questions or comments, please contact us at info@startingupnowsuite.com.